السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. الحمد لله الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات. ربنا لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد رضا. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيد الأولين والآخرين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك الحق المبين، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صفيه من خلقه وخليله وأمينه على وحيه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد. اتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, all praise and glory and thanks are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala everything we have, وما بكم من نعمة فمن الله. And we are dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all our needs. يا أيها الناس أنتم الفقراء إلى الله والله هو الغني الحميد. Make sure you do your best always to remind yourself of the countless bounties and favors from Allah, and to be thankful both in words and in deeds. In words by sincere gratitude that comes from the bottom of your heart, and then in deeds by sharing what Allah has given you. That's how you acknowledge that it is a bounty from Allah, when you use it the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, and that is mainly sharing the ni'am and the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just please make sure you don't spoil your Jumu'ah by using phones, because that's you're sitting here, and if you're using your phone, then there is no Jumu'ah, basically. So my dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us live to see another Ramadan, hopefully, because we don't know, we're not sure. Every day we're not sure that whether we still have more time in this life or not, and even whether we're going to complete the day, finish it or not. So congratulations and to everybody, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and help us to make the most out of this month and to have a successful Ramadan. It is a great month that reflects the greatness of our deen. Shahr al-Azim indicates the greatness of our deen, greatness of Islam. And Muslims, our relationship with Ramadan also reflects our relationship with Islam. So in the same way we understand Ramadan and practice it, there is a lot of similarity to the way we understand Islam and practice it. Maybe superficial understanding. Majority of Muslims nowadays, they have a superficial understanding of Ramadan and superficial understanding of the deen. And then sometimes even twisted, as we're going to see, and we saw last time, how some people turn the great month of Ramadan into a month of food and a month of drama and TV and spending with coffee shops and staying late at night. That's twisted. That's completely twisted understanding of the month. And then also there is a similarity that the fact that we are not taking full advantage. No, we're not taking full advantage of Islam. And we're not taking full advantage of Ramadan. This is a religion that is very inspiring and very empowering. Islam is very inspiring and very empowering religion. We turned it, unfortunately, into something just rituals, appearances, madahir, and short list of do's and don'ts. Likewise, Ramadan is a great month with great opportunities, and as I said, we turned it into something else. So today we're going to talk again, as we did last time, about how to succeed in Ramadan, how to make it successful month, and what does it mean to be successful. Muslims, individuals, and communities are assigned a big mission. And to prepare them for that mission, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed Salah, prescribed Ramadan, etc. So we have to put things in perspective. that that Ramadan and Salah are meant to empower someone who is already committed to a mission. So when the mission is abandoned, we don't know why we're doing these things, because they are detached from their purpose. Now, we talked about the categories of people in Ramadan last time, briefly. Some people, of course, there are some people who do not even fast. Some people, they fast in Ramadan. The only thing they do in Ramadan is they change the time when they take their meals. Everything else continues the same. Some people, they don't even pray. They fast, but they don't pray. And if you ask them, are you fasting? They already get offended, of course. Like, how about prayer? No, that's okay, inshallah. Sometimes. So to that extent, things are messed up. And then we talked about the largest category of the people. Alhamdulillah, all of us, inshallah, will be among this category of the people who do better in Ramadan, but only in Ramadan. In Ramadan, they pray more, their relationship with the Quran improves, maybe they do more charity. So things improve in Ramadan, but they stop afterwards. And that's not good. It's better than nothing, but that's not what Ramadan is meant to be. And why is this? Because that's the intention. People enter Ramadan with this intention. So you get what you intended. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ إِمْرٍ مَا نَوَى. People enter Ramadan with the intention and the goal of temporary improvement. And they achieve it. They achieve that. And that's what needs to be fixed. Successful Ramadan, as we mentioned last time, meaning some few key words. One is transformation. No transformation, no successful Ramadan. Were you transformed by Ramadan? If the answer is yes, then your Ramadan was successful. If you are not transformed by Ramadan, then that's a problem. That's one thing. And that transformation is meant to be permanent. Permanent. Permanent meaning what? Permanent meaning at least until next Ramadan. Like long lasting. Something that does not stop on the 8th day. Long lasting. So it is meant to be long lasting, maybe for a whole year until next Ramadan. So permanent transformations. And then the month is meant, again, the other key point that many Muslims miss, and we have to fix it. Number one is transformation, and it is permanent. And number two is that in Ramadan, as I mentioned last time, Ramadan is not only during the day, it's the day and night. The day and night, and it is continuously. So you are in a state of worship all the time. The second key point that people miss is you find it in the ayah, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The majority of Muslims, they don't understand that fasting is not the goal. It's the means towards the goal. It's the means towards the goal. And the verse makes it clear. كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The verse is saying that fasting was prescribed on you as it was prescribed on the people before you, so that you increase your taqwa. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So if the purpose is achieved, then it is successful Ramadan. If the purpose is not achieved, then that missed opportunity. So what is your taqwa level before and after Ramadan? And we define taqwa. Taqwa is not a mystery. It's basically your relationship with Allah. 2, your motivation to do good, how motivated you are to do good. 3, your ability to restrain yourself. That's what measures your taqwa. How strong your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love, gratitude, remembrance, etc. 2, how motivated you are to do good. If you stand up to pray, do you do it with motivation or reluctant? If you want to give charity, how motivated you are, that tells about your taqwa. 3, how strong are your breaks. when you want to restrain yourself from haram, from hurting someone or from doing anything wrong, how strong are your brakes? That's a measure of your taqwa. The other key word that we mentioned about Ramadan, successful Ramadan, is upgrade. So upgrading your taqwa, upgrading your iman, upgrading the quality of your prayer. These are measures and indications of success. And these should be your goals in Ramadan. So it is the month of worship. Now all life is meant to be an act of worship. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. Allah created us but to worship Him. But in Ramadan, the focus is on the spiritual worship, on the worship that is between you and Allah. You can think of it as, in management, there is something called capacity and capacity building. I mean, your capacity, you have machines, you can produce so much. You want to produce more, you have to increase your capacity. Meaning, buy new machines or bigger machines or better machines. Then you can produce more. In Ramadan, we have the chance to build our capacity. It's a capacity building. Your iman, upgrading your iman, upgrading your taqwa, upgrading your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, upgrading the quality of your worship. That's all capacity building. So you emerge from Ramadan much stronger, much more motivated to continue to fulfill your mission in life. So even though the whole life is meant to be an act of worship, but Ramadan is for spiritual development. It's mainly for spiritual development. And as you heard it from me before, I believe that our life in Ramadan should be centered around 4 activities. 4. Any time that you have at hand should be spent in those activities. And there isn't a lot of time we have in our hands, by the way. If you think about it, you're managing only a couple hours. All the rest of the time it's out of your control. You are either praying or reading the Quran, reading with contemplation, or making dhikr, tasbih, tahmeed, takbir, tahleel, etc., or making dua. This is the life of the believer in Ramadan. If you're not doing one, you're doing the other. The time that you have at hand. That's what's going to achieve those goals. That's what's going to make you spiritually much stronger as you emerge from Ramadan. So it is the month of ibadah. It is the month of tazkiyah. Tazkiyah is essential in Islam. Tazkiyah meaning that you strive to be a better version of yourself. Now we should be doing this every day. But every day we can improve little. You can improve in one aspect of your life. You can learn something new and apply it and improve. So we meant to be continuous improvement, but in Ramadan it is like big and comprehensive improvement. You're not going to improve in one aspect of your life. It's all of it, including the physical. It's a full reset. It's a full reset, including your physical body, as science now proved that fasting resets your body. Anything that wasn't wrong in your body, anything that was not properly functioning, fasting will, they sometimes you have a machine and they say reset it to the default settings. That's what you do in Ramadan. You reset your body. So anything that was malfunctioning, any issues in your body will take care of them without even you knowing. And that's again became scientifically proven. It is the month of taqwa. It is the month to increase your taqwa, replenish the warehouses or the tanks of the taqwa. Why I said it's a comprehensive and substantial. It is meant to be substantial and comprehensive improvement in Ramadan. I'm going to bring the idea closer. Athletes and players and teams, before a big tournament or before the season, what do? They take them into camps for a month, very intensive. So they come out of off-season out of shape, and then they emerge from that camp ready for competition ready. That's exactly what this month is meant for us. It is meant that we enter out of shape, maybe physically, spiritually, etc., and we emerge from it very sharp and very in a very good shape. So players and teams, they come rusty and they emerge from those camps ready they become competitive. Muslims, individuals and communities, they were assigned this big mission, and Ramadan is one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His mercy, when He gave us that big mission, He gave us a lot of things to help us to succeed. One mechanism is the mechanism of tazkiyah. That to succeed in your mission, you have to develop yourself. You have to develop yourself, you become stronger. The stronger you are, the more you can do fi sabilillah. The stronger you are physically, the more you can do. The stronger you are financially, the more you can do fi sabilillah. The more influence and power you have, the more you can do fi sabilillah. So there is that mechanism of tazkiyah. And there are these tools that can help you. These means, and as the verse says about Ramadan, and there is a verse that says this about all the ibadat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah says, يَا أَيُّهَا النَّاسُ اعْبُدُوا رَبَّكُمْ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Worship to increase your taqwa. Fast to increase your taqwa. Pray to increase your taqwa. That's clear. Or you believe, worship Allah who created you and created the people before you, so that you can increase your taqwa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us those from His mercy. We have to see salah and fasting as ni'am from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bounties and favors. I am on a mission, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me things that can help me or ensure that I will succeed in my mission. Salah maintains your iman the rest of the year. Salah maintains your iman and keep you on track. There is hardly any time between two salahs to do anything. So if your iman goes down between Dhuhr and Asr, Asr comes to bring it back. Asr and Dhuhr, Maghrib comes to bring it back. Your brakes start to become weak, and shaitan is about to get you to do something wrong, and then salah comes. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. And then you are back on track, and your resistance here is strong. So that's the purpose of salah for the whole year. But fasting, again, it's an upgrade and reset. Is basically to take you to the next level. Which salah will help maintaining for the rest of the year? Fasting moves you to the next level. Salah keeps you as long as possible in that level for the rest of the year. Zakat is the same thing. If you are serious about your mission, you should see zakat as a mercy from Allah. You're telling me that I'm going to put my hand in my pocket and give money away is a mercy? Yes, it is a mercy. Why it is a mercy? Because it helps you succeeding. How zakat helps us succeeding in our mission? It fights greed and money worship. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُم بِهَا وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. Take money, charity from their money to purify them. Purify the money and purify the people. خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُم بِهَا وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ. So the proper understanding of this deen, if I am serious about that mission and I want to succeed, I wait for the salah. I wait for Ramadan to come, because that's refueling, recharging, and I want to be strong and I want to be successful in my mission. So in zakat and fasting and salah, in addition to the social benefits, community building. Now we know how close people get into each other in Ramadan. Salah, Jama'ah is meant to do that. Hajj is meant to do that. Zakat, strengthening the bonds. So in addition to the social benefit, there is an individual benefit for the believer. Now, How do we succeed in Ramadan? Again, transformation, upgrade, reset. How do we transform? Acquiring good habits and getting rid of bad habits. Acquiring good habits. So start your Ramadan with a list of good habits to acquire. I did my homework before I am saying this, and with some of bad habits to get rid of. And I'm going to tell you in a minute why this is your best chance to do it. This is the best opportunity for that transformation to happen. We talked about some of the goals that I suggested for us, and you can add, you can modify, you can change. Everybody is different. Everybody's needs are different. But I mentioned this last time. I'm going to mention it again, and then talk about how you should believe and be confident that Ramadan is your best chance for transformation. And if you miss Ramadan, then there isn't another opportunity that is like Ramadan for you to be a different person and to be a much, much better person. I mentioned upgrading the quality of your prayers. Pray on time. Take your phone, set it for alarm on the adhan. Whenever you can, pray on time. Don't even use the grace period. Pray on time. That's something that you can acquire easily in Ramadan. Pray in Jama'ah. Even if you are at home, it is time for prayer. Everybody gather, let's pray. Something that we can practice in Ramadan, and try to increase your khushu'ah. Take your time praying. Don't rush your prayer. We mentioned this last time. The importance of that. Relationship with the Quran, that's your chance. Your chance to fix your relationship with the Quran once and for all, for the whole year. You become someone with a daily Quran session. Now it can be shorter or longer, depending on the time available, but you do your best not to miss it. There is a daily session with the Quran. Spend some time, quiet place, reading and reflecting and trying to understand the Quran. I mentioned reading, the habit of reading. If you want to acquire it, that's the time. Force it on yourself. Take a book and every day read from it like for an hour or so. And then after Ramadan, you become someone who will not let a day goes by without reading, because your mind becomes hungry and thirsty like your body. Like your body will not let you go one day without eating or drinking. Your mind, once it gets used to functioning, reading and thinking, will not go back to sleep. Because that's not what it was meant to be. Our minds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us to use, not to put them to sleep. So once your mind get used to that reflection and contemplation and reading and learning, then it becomes a habit. Strict sleeping and eating habits in Ramadan can help you acquire good habits. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they do the opposite. They stay late at night. No, you go finish Taraweeh, you go to sleep, wake up early, little bit maybe before Fajr to pray Sahar, to pray the time of Sahar, like Tahajjud, etc. I mentioned family gathering for dinner. We do it in Ramadan, why don't we keep it for the rest of the year? A lot of people, unfortunately nowadays, because everybody's schedule is different, people do not gather anymore on the dinner table. That's something that we do it in Ramadan naturally, but let's try to keep it. Strict control of your senses. Your tongue, your hearing, your eyesight. Why? Because you're working so hard in Ramadan for your fasting. You don't want to spoil it by letting your tongue go out of control, or your eyes, or so you have an incentive to protect your fasting, and that will make you able to control your senses. So let's learn that habit of controlling our senses. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا أَوْ لِيَصْمُتْ. You say something good or you keep quiet. And nowadays it's not only saying or typing or sharing, doing anything good or don't do it. فَلْيَقُلْ خَيْرًا, say something good or keep quiet. So control of our tongue, control of our eyesight. All of this will keep your mind and your hearts pure. Because that's what corrupts our minds, and whatever junk enters through our senses, that's what corrupts our hearts and corrupts our mind. If we protect our borders, then your heart and your mind will remain pure and sound. Strict time management. A lot of us are lousy in managing our time. In Ramadan, we can learn strict time management. Managing time is very precious in Ramadan, and there is no time to waste. None of this can be achieved without a plan and a schedule. So write it down. Tonight, this evening, start your month by setting some goals for yourself, some good habits to acquire, some bad habits to get rid of, and then try to set up your schedule. What I'm going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. You know your schedule, you know the time that is out of your control, and you manage the rest. That's how you can make the most out of this month. And inshallah, we'll talk in second about why Ramadan is the best opportunity for transformation and to achieve all these goals to the point that we cannot miss the will of Allah in our life. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونتوب إليه نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, how Ramadan is a blessing and allow us to achieve all these goals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from His wisdom and mercy knows us and knows what works for us, so He gave us this great season that we need to approach as a season. You know, there are some businesses that are seasonal, which means that they make all their money in a month or two or three of the year, and they prepare for that season. That's how we need to approach Ramadan. We're going to replenish our fuel tanks, our taqwa tanks, and etc. in this month. Number one, the willpower. Fasting increase azim, irada, willpower. Make you someone with a stronger willpower. In Ramadan, you have that feeling. You feel that there isn't anything that you cannot do. If I can stay without eating and drinking for so long, then there isn't anything that I cannot do. So that's azim. And the willpower helps you acquiring habits and getting rid of bad habits and make that transformation. Number two, fasting works on your sincerity. So willpower, sincerity, ikhlas. Why? Because that's the only ibadah that you cannot show off. You cannot impress people. There is no way for me to know that you're fasting. I mean, unless somebody will stay with you from Fajr to Maghrib, nobody can know that you are fasting. So you're doing it for Allah. You cannot impress people with your fasting. That increases the sincerity. Now you can impress people with your prayer. You can impress people with other acts, but not with the fasting. So increasing your willpower, increasing your sincerity. Number three, how fasting increase our taqwa. Remember, taqwa said one key element in taqwa is ikhlas, and the relationship with Allah, and that's already is going to be served in Ramadan. Number two, in taqwa is the incentive to do good. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to increase that incentive in us, made rewards in Ramadan multiplied. So you have greater incentive to do good. Again, it's very simple. When there is sale or clearance, people buy more. Similar, likewise, when the rewards are multiplied, you are motivated to do more. When you say that something will be multiplied 70 times, I want to do more. I want to do more. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to strengthen our motivation to do good, He multiplied the rewards in Ramadan. And then if you go with the right intention that you're going to keep this for the rest of the year, then your taqwa, that's how your taqwa increases. Because when you spend the whole month very motivated to do good, it's easy for you to keep it for the rest of the year. And you know, doing good increases your iman. Stronger iman will give you greater motivation to do good. Synergy. You do something good, your iman becomes stronger. Your iman becomes stronger, you are more motivated to do good deeds. And that cycle never ends. And of course, in Ramadan we have the third element of taqwa, self-restraint. Why we can strengthen that in Ramadan? Remember that you are fasting. You are working hard for fasting. You are not gonna allow something to spoil that fasting. So when you are about to say something wrong or to do something wrong, you have greater incentive. It's not just because it is haram. It's not just because Allah is watching. All of this is very important. But now you have an extra reason. I'm working so hard for my fasting and I'm gonna squander it just by bad word or by not controlling my senses. No smart person will do that. No smart person will work hard for money and then throw them in the street. Same thing for those who are fasting and they spoil their fasting. Billahu. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة فإن يدع طعامه وشرابه. If you are not going to control yourself from haram, there is no point in controlling yourself from halal. You'd rather just go and eat. And you're restraining yourself from things that are halal. And then you go and indulge in things that are haram. That's not smart. So we have greater incentive in Ramadan to restrain ourselves. If we do this right, practice this right, we emerge from Ramadan, willpower much higher, sincerity much higher, incentive to do good much higher, iman is moved to the next level, and our brakes, our ability to restrain ourselves become much, much stronger. That's how I said, again, that if you are serious about your mission and you understand this month and the greatness and the great opportunity that come with it, you will realize that it was indeed a blessing, not a burden.